Hey guys, Jess from Knockout Print Shop, and it is finally time to do a video again. I'm going to do my 2023 goals video here today and just go over like what planner I'm using so far this year, and just give you guys a little bit of an update. If you can hear some click clacking around, my dog is in the background. Okay, so my plan for this year was not to use my Makselife. I didn't think I was going to use this planner, but I've started to use it, and so far I'm liking it. But because I didn't think I was going to be using my Moxie, the just kind of full weekly planner, I got the companion notebooks and the folio, the little holder, because I thought, okay, well, I'll use the companion notebooks this year to do my goal setting, and then if I use another planner, the Hobonichi or Inkle Press or something like that, then I can still do the Makselife Goal Setting system. Most of last year, I didn't do a lot of goal stuff. Like I kind of didn't pay much attention to setting weekly action steps. I did that for the first part of the year and then just kind of fell out of habit with it. I still was getting things done. If you've watched my other videos, that's what I said. I was still getting things done and achieving goals, but wasn't being very intentional about setting weekly action steps and things like that. So I wasn't sure how I was going to do goals this year, how much I cared about it, all that stuff. But I thought, well, whatever. Let me go through the thing and see how I'm feeling, and we'll start off doing goal stuff. So this is my usual ramblings, guys. Okay, so what I did was I used the, again, the companion notebooks, went through the Makselife assessment, and again, if you've watched my videos before, you know, I go through it myself, and then I have Matt score me too, because I find that it's nice to get another perspective from somebody else that knows you to compare like what they think they'd rank you in different categories, just to, again, like kind of see where you're at and get that outside view, because we can often for ourselves either make things worse than they are, or make them better than they are. So it's nice to have that like reality check from somebody else. So what I also do then is I'll put my score from the previous year in parentheses and see if I went up or down. So really quick, I'm just going to go over that. I'm saying a lot. I haven't made it a video in a while, so I feel like I'm just like not on my game. Okay. Personal, last year I was a 9.6. I had rated myself, I think, at a 9.5, and Matt gave me what it came out to be a 9.1. So I think that's probably more accurate. The biggest discrepancy that Matt and I had in our scores was this one about if I feel generally happy and fulfilled. I gave myself a 9. He gave me a 7. And so you could see there. So sometimes people are like, how the hell do you have 10s in a lot of these areas? And they think it's, you know, BS or weird or can't be true, all that stuff. And I'm here to say, like, to me, 10 still doesn't mean perfect. Just for me, it feels like I'm good, I'm content, and I've spent lots of time previous years to the Makselife system doing a lot of work, and there are certain areas of my life that are just good. They're on autopilot. I'm happy, I'm healthy in that area, and it's fine. I don't feel like there's parts of my life that feel just like totally in the crapper. So I tend to hang in the like 7 to 10 range for most things. But again, it doesn't mean my life is perfect. So don't let some of these 10s be like, oh, Jess is perfect. I'm not perfect. But where I'm at this year, what I've noticed is the usual areas that are really good are good. And then some major shifts have happened for me because I just right now feel unfulfilled in a few areas. So one of them is personal. And typically this is, for the rest of the year, I usually call this like my farm section because it's where my hobby and my interest lie and all of that. But there's a general sense for me right now of a lack of community, a lack of connection, a lack of fulfillment. And so that's why I feel like this score dropped from last year. If we look in fun and recreation, last year I had a 7.9. I had myself around a 7.75. With Matt's scores, I was around an 8. This is pretty much what it was last year. We used to really suck at taking time off, like really, really bad. And last year we made a concerted effort to not be open for the print shop during Thanksgiving weekend, and we usually weren't. Last year we tried it, it sucked, so we made sure to take that weekend off. We took and closed, I took the week off of work for between Christmas and New Year's, and Matt, we closed the shop between Christmas and New Year's, so that was a break. My mom came in town and visited. We did a little trip in March, so we've gotten a lot better about taking time off, and we're going to continue to try to be intentional about that. Okay, there's the timer. So where I feel this score lacks is the again, just having social interactions and people that I connect with. Matt and I spend a lot of time together and we're totally fine. People think that's weird too, but that we get along really well. But I don't feel like, again, there's a lack of community and connection. You're going to see that theme throughout this. So that's kind of where the recreation, fun, spending time around people, doing things that I enjoy is maybe took a little downturn this year. And anyways, okay, I'll keep talking. Again, this is just ramblings, guys. Work and learning. So this one went down a lot. So last year I had a 10. This year, both Matt and I scored me around an 8.25. Last year I just started my new job. And after not, when I owned my gym back in Chicago and we also had the print shop, I was busy, I was fulfilled, I was doing work that felt like it had purpose. Even though I was burnt out by my gym, it was still a very fulfilling role to be in as a coach. And I felt like I was impacting people's lives and it felt like my day in life had purpose. We left, closed the gym, did the print shop. I really enjoyed the flexibility that gave me and doing the print shop and things that came with that, but it didn't have that same feeling of owning my gym. So I kind of wavered around feeling like I was doing my life's work during those few years. And then last year when I got the job that I have now, I work at a nonprofit entrepreneur center as the marketing director, program coordinator. I do some business coaching. And it started off great. I think it felt so instantly like, okay, I have colleagues, I have a paycheck for the first time basically in my whole adult life because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I was doing work that felt, like I get to work with entrepreneurs. This is great. And it was, and it is. And there's a lot of aspects of my job I still really do enjoy. But I feel like the job is not 100% leveraging my strengths. And I feel that it is a huge adjustment getting used to going from entrepreneur to employee. And there's some things I like about it and some things I don't. So after a year and a half, what I've found is that there's things that I'm grateful for with my job, but there's a lot of things lacking there for me personally. So that's shifted from a 10 to an 8.25. Family and relationships. My family is great. Relationships with my family is great. Again, I'm just feeling like I don't have people. I don't have a sense of community. I don't have a sense of connection. So there's more of a sense of loneliness. And I had this when we moved because when you move and you start all over and you don't have, we were working from home, so we don't have jobs to meet people. We don't have children. We didn't have family in every area that we have moved in the past couple of years. So I've always kind of felt that. But the weird part now is it feels even more pronounced, even though I have a job where I'm interacting with a handful of people each week. For some reason, I'm just feeling a sense of a lack of community that started to bother me. So from a 10 down to about an 8.9. Health and wellness, spirituality, those are always good. That's just kind of these areas I've worked on for years and I feel good about them. I don't really have much things to change there. Financially, what's going on here? I went down a little tiny bit. Where was the tiny bit I went down? I don't even know because it looks the same. Oh, healthy relationship with money. I put an 8, Matt put a 9. I don't know what I gave myself last year. But anyways, this feels like, I feel like I'm a little more stressed, even though I have a job. It's so weird. Money is, for me, I feel like I have all the things set to be good. And we're not, in a bad position at all. We have saved. We have all these things taken care of. I've spent like a decade getting my stuff together around this. But I think we're in this weird time where the print shop has taken a side. It's now more of a side hustle. I have a full-time job. Matt basically does the print shop. I do the marketing and emails and all that, but he does the day-to-day operations of it. And it's, like I've told you guys before, it's been on the decline year after year for the past couple of years. I don't foresee that changing. So I think there's just this looming, like, what's next? And so that's maybe where the financial worry comes in. We're still fine, and it makes enough money to make it make sense for Matt to do that and not go get a job or something. So anyways, again, rambling inside Jess's life. 10 minutes in, I got to keep this going. Physical environment's good. Love our home, love our farm. Working on some home improvements this year, whatever. Okay. We're good. Intentions. So this is all of this is going to be about friendship, community, and fulfillment. That's kind of where I'm at right now. That's what I could use more of in my life. use less of his worry, perfectionism, and screen time. I've been off social media. March will be a year, but I still use YouTube mostly for educational purposes. And for the first time ever, I'm a late adopter, I really get on the Pinterest bandwagon because we're doing home improvements. And I think the thing I like about Pinterest is it's helping me get ideas for different things we want to do around our house to make it our home. But I do feel like it spawns a little bit of perfectionism and comparison in me. So as we kind of figure out where we are with these home improvements, I think I'm going to delete Pinterest from my phone because I just don't like this incessant scrolling I'm doing and just kind of being in that. It's not like Facebook or Instagram because it's not that community-based thing, but it still induces a little bit of just perfectionism, I guess, in comparison. Okay, things that I like to nurture: decisiveness and confidence. Matt always tells me I need to be more confident with farm equipment. I'm kind of a weenie when it comes to like riding the riding lawnmower and the ATV and using tools and things like that. People are always like, you got in a boxing ring and got punched in the face. How are you scared of that stuff? I don't know. I have no idea. So he wants me to gain some confidence with that, which I agree with. And the decisiveness thing is when I have to make a lot of decisions, like what paint color, what hardware, what this, what that, what are we going to do about this? I get overwhelmed. So I just want to, when it comes to these like things that aren't super important, even like you can repaint a house, you can do things differently. Just work on decisiveness with that. When it comes to like business stuff, I'm super decisive. But for some reason, it's usually around spending money. That's when my indecisiveness kicks in. Habits I want to foster: reading. I put that every year and I'm okay-ish at it. Do less of overthinking. Have grace with myself with making mistakes. Again, this ties into more money for me. Is like I fear of like, oh, I picked the wrong paint color and we have to paint it again. It's going to cost money. So I was worried I'm going to worry about that kind of thing. So let go of fear of making mistakes and that things are permanent, and embrace the idea of just doing experiences, learning, and things are good enough. So like my word for the year is fearless, which is funny. Probably a decade ago, I became a fearless living life coach. So full circle, my friends, fearlessness. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for where I'm at, kind of giving you guys a peek inside of that stuff. I went through this page where she has these different categories and just kind of like highlighted some things of each category that resonated with me and were my focus. And then I got into my annual goals. Personal for me is mostly farm because that's where my personal fulfillment comes in. That is my biggest hobby and interest is farming. So I kind of map out all the different projects and things we have for the year here. So that's, from getting our meat birds and getting pigs again to getting drip irrigation for the garden. So you can see there kind of all of this has to do with my personal hobby. And this stuff brings me a lot of joy. The hard part, I think, is in the winter. If you own a farm or you're into gardening or outside stuff, you know that the winter, when you're not in a place that has, like I guess if you're in the South or deep South, or if you're in California, you don't really have seasons. So you can kind of do a lot of this stuff year round. But stuff on a farm really slows down in the winter, especially a small scale hobby farm. So I kind of get a little bit of cabin fever and I feel a lack of motivation and I'm a little lazier because, there isn't gardening stuff to do, and there's not, we don't rotate our animals as much and we don't do as many outdoor projects and stuff like that. So I feel like that's also contributing to this weird headspace I'm in. With fun and recreation, our usual Thanksgiving and New Year's, Christmas and New Year's time off, we decided we want to go on a fun date somewhere each month. So I guess that falls into both of these categories, family and relationship too. We want to do a doggy adventure each month, like go somewhere, take them on a fun hike, and get back into doing more farm visits and getting out and seeing other farms. Not only do Matt and I like that for personal things and we just like farm, but it also helps us build community and meet people that have similar interests to us. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Work and learning, I always split into two. I kind of have knockout print shop and then I have like me, like my work, my career. Just, some things that we want to keep doing for the print shop. We want to assess where we are with Inkwell Press. If those of you that have been around for a while, Inkwell Press as a planner, while it's still great quality, we still make stickers for it year after year after year. We see a decline in our customers using them and purchasing those stickers. So I don't foresee us getting rid of Inkwell Press as a collection and only focusing on Moxie and Hobonichi, but it's definitely taking a back seat. So we just are going to continually assess like how many listings to produce and how to approach making stuff for that planner. I was planning on doing about one video a month, January through March, kind of like the busy time of planner season, but I'm on the fence about that. I don't have, I feel like you guys have always known, if you've listened before, I like to produce content that is useful to you. And my plan with me is my life is not exciting. I don't even use a lot of stickers. I don't have that much to share as far as like innovative things I'm doing with my planner. So I'm really only going to make videos when I feel that I have something interesting to share. I like to make my goal video, so that's what we're doing today. Anyways, there's a few other things. So for the Jess thing, the major thing for my career path is figuring out what I want. Like, what do I want out of my career? My job in my career right now is I get to work with entrepreneurs, which I love. I love business. I love working with entrepreneurs and educating and coaching. Like, I do really enjoy that part of my job. I really feel drawn to project management, and I like there is a project and management element of my job, but I really like that. I want to learn more about that. So what I want to do is read the book UMAP. I bought it a couple months ago and only read the very beginning, but I really want to read that book and kind of see where my strengths and stuff are and make sure that I'm in a role that really lends to my strengths. And I think that's part of this feeling of like not feeling like I'm not that I'm not making an impact, but not feeling as fulfilled. Something feels like it's not, the puzzle piece isn't quite right. But the one thing I do love about my job is it's flexible, and I do get an opportunity to use my coaching skills, and the flexibility is great. So I do have room in my schedule to pursue like a side hustle. So I don't know if that's something I want to do. I also don't like to do too many things because I feel like that's one of those, I like to have more focus. I don't like to be spread too thin. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with that. Major focus, even though there's not a lot of to-dos under it, is that's funny. I wrote this down twice, but build community and connections. I'm going to read this book called Find Your People. I'm about 6 chapters in. Actually, one of my entrepreneurs in one of the classes I taught recommended this book. And while it has a religious bent to it, and I'm not a religious person, I don't go to church and things like that, it's still so far it's a really good book, and it's really interesting. And it's helping me see some things about this concept of like finding your people and having a tribe of friends and community. And so that's part of my process to getting that fulfilled. There is another book I want to read, clearly, and I didn't write it down. So there's that. Okay, health, that's my usual. I do want to focus on building my strength again, back up. We work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have almost my whole entire life. But we've not really done much focused, intense workouts because we've done so much manual labor over the past couple of years, but that's starting to scale back. So I think I can focus a little bit more on building my strength back up as far as like different lifts and things that I can do. Let's see. Spirituality and personal growth, I don't do too much here, but the thing I did think I wanted to do is do some kind of daily record. I'm calling it that instead of a journal, because every time I say I want a journal, I never stick with it. But I think I'm going to use my planner to just even record things throughout the day, like the weather, a memory or a highlight, notes, accomplishments, so that I can use my planner to go flip back and go, oh, when did we do that? The irony of this is I never keep my previous year's planner. I always throw it away after about the first quarter into the year. But I don't know. I thought that could be something interesting. Our financial goals: invest in our home and our farm, make our home improvements, kitchen improvements. We still have some farm stuff to pay for, so that's kind of our usual. Contribute to our HSA. Once we get through some of these home and farm improvements, we're starting to get to the tail end of those projects. We probably will start to, in the next couple of years, contributing more to the principal of our mortgage. But right now, we still have money to invest in this property, in this home. A lot of what we're doing this year has to do with home improvements. So you can see all of that there. And that's it. So then I had imagined I wasn't going to use the Moxie, so I didn't. This is what I got, and so I started using it. So the companion notebook. So I put our stickers in here for each month, our text stickers. So I don't know where the other month is, but I filled out January, February, March. I used our date dots to put the dates in, and I went through and put in major events that are on the calendar for each month. And then I did start doing monthly goals, so taking those bigger goals and breaking them down. Oh, look, we're recording this video, so that can be there. Okay, did that. That's good. and then I started doing some weekly goals. And so what I did, you guys are going to think I'm insane, but I actually did start using my Makselife vertical. And I'm like, okay, let me start using this and the Hobonichi and the companion notebooks and see which one I like. I did the same thing last year. So what I did in here was I literally went through, filled out all this stuff again, and I started double putting stuff in planners. This is absolutely crazy, I know, but I want to see what planner I was going to use. So I've kind of been putting stuff in this and the Moxie and a little bit in the Hobonichi to see which one feels better. I do like the companion notebooks, but since I actually am using my Makselife planner, clearly I don't need to, I don't need to use this. So there's that part of it. So you can see, recorded that, I did that, I did that. So I think this is great. Like, and if I wasn't using the Moxie right now, I'd probably keep up with using this. So I don't know if I'm going to continue using this the rest of the year, because as of right now, I'm liking the Moxie. But I think I'm gonna wrap the video up here. We're 21 minutes in. I wanna film a second video follow-up to this, just kind of telling you how I'm using all three of these planners right now and where I think I'm at as far as which one I'm going to use. But I just wanted to share with you my goal setting process. Matt and I did our usual thing where we go sit at the coffee shop and I ask him all these things and tell him to rank me and help me answer these questions. I'm the kind of person that, like, I do not like sitting with a blank piece of paper and answering things. I come to conclusions and answers through communication. Don't know if that's like the therapist in me, but I like to talk things through with another person. So that's how I did it. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. I do like going through this process. I think it gives me a little bit of a baseline to understand where I'm at and where I want to go for the year. I think this assessment is a good assessment, pretty much sums up. I mean, I could even go through and rank myself without these questions and kind of probably get similar goals. So my big focus for this year is going to be the home. It's already at a 10, but it's more just about continuing to make it our home. There's nothing wrong with it. It's more just we want to make some aesthetic improvements. Community is a huge thing. That's kind of falling in these, like, it kind of overlaps these categories here. Work and just kind of getting clear on my purpose and my strengths and what I need to do to grow there, and just find some community connection, fulfillment. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Life is good in general, but just kind of I get in a funk a little bit this time of year, and just feel like something needs to be tweaked. That's it. All right, guys, I need to shush because I'm going to make this video too long as usual. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you find this helpful. If you have questions about how I do my goals or my weirdness in my life or anything, feel free to comment below. I'm going to try to do another video and follow up. Like I said, I don't plan on doing a ton of videos this year. So again, I went through that. I need to shut up and stop rambling. Okay, hope you're well. This was helpful, hopefully, and I will talk to you guys in the comments. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.